Hey guys, so I'm getting a lot of support out there from a lot of people, and I'm gonna tell you more of the story that happened here. So, when in regard to this issue, so when I discovered the rule that night after the final round and everything that happened, I immediately sent it to Rian, and Rian reads the rule and says, "Oh wait." And reads the rule and says, "Oh, I did not, not intending on playing it." Sure enough, he forwards it to the tour official, right? So right then and there, if he had intent, he would have just said, "Oh, forget it," you know, and he wouldn't have forwarded it. So right there, I'm right in that he had no intention. If he had, he wouldn't have forwarded it. He says, "Brandon, here's the tour official's contact information. Call him." So I immediately call him, right? And it's later at night. We've had a long week, and I had a beer in my hand, and I'm sure he had a beer in his hand too. You saw it in my video, and so we're talking. I said, "Mr. Official," I said, "Are you familiar with Rule 26-1/9?" He says, "Of course I am." I said, "Well, okay. Well, what does it say?" I was trying to be as respectful as possible. He said, "Read it to me." He had no idea what the rule was. So, I was kind of floored, and I was like, "All right, well, you just cost us $12,000, and you don't know what the rule is. I had to read it to you. That's the problem." And it got heated, and he hung up on me, and then he eventually called me back, and then of course I did the YouTube thing and put it out there. I didn't say this part. So then, the next day, they go on the Golf Channel, they defend themselves. I'm sure they huddled up and said, "Oh, this is this and this." And then I go to the airport. I walk in the airport, and I get through security. And within 15, 20 seconds, I'm sitting there talking. I get in, I see a couple of my friends, a player and a caddy. And within 15, 20 seconds, this tour official comes over to me, and he lambasts me. And I put my hand up, and I said, "Hey, dude, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my friends here, all right?" And he just goes at me. There's plenty of witnesses to this. Half the tour was in that, in that airport, because it's just a small airport there in Mars Harbor. So I go upstairs, because I'm feeling a little, people are watching this, and I'm feeling, whatever. And so I go upstairs, and there's like a cocktail lounge, and I had this like Bahamian money. And so I had to get rid of it, and it cost $31 to get into this place. It's where you can eat, and they have wine and beer and stuff. And so I had like $34 in Bahamian money. It was perfect. So I go in, and within 2 minutes, guess who followed me up the stairs? And he hadn't paid to get into this place. He follows me up and goes at me again. And I go, "Dude, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you." And you know what? The Golf Channel people were in there, and they saw this. And listen, I got nothing but love for the Golf Channel people. Phil Blackmar and I had a wonderful conversation down in Abaco. We talked a lot about golf, and I consider him a friend, and we text each other and all that stuff. So I have no beef with anybody at the Golf Channel. And he goes at me, and I said, "Dude, I'm not." And he goes, "You know what? You're suspended." And I said, "Suspended? Come on." He goes, "You're not working the web.com. You're not working the PGA Tour." I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay." He goes, "Take 3 months off, son." I said, "Oh, all right." So that's where it is. So that's what happened. And I'm apparently suspended. I've not gotten an email or a letter from anyone at the PGA Tour. It was a tour official that said I was suspended, the same tour official that made the ruling. So what it boils down to is he came over. Obviously, he's a little bit of a headhunting official. I didn't see him all week until the last hole. And a little bit of a headhunting official made the ruling right on the spot. Later on, I said it. I showed him that it was wrong, and he, you could see I got under his skin. And I'm sorry. He cost my player $12,000 because of a bad ruling. And I have a lot of support of people. They've all come to me privately and said, "Brandon, that's a kind of, that's a wrong ruling, and I can't believe he did that to you." He didn't know who I was because I wasn't on the web. This is my second tournament on the web. I was on the big tour for much of last year. So maybe he thought I was just a newbie and I didn't know what I was doing, or what. But a lot of people have come to me privately and said, "Brandon, No official would do that to you. No official, if they in the right mind, would actually do that, because that's on the 72nd hole in that position. So guys, lay off Rian's back. Okay, he paid me. We exchanged hands, and he apologized for throwing the putter cover at me, and I apologized for picking up the golf ball and costing him $12,000. So lay off him. And I just want to say that that's what happened. And I have love to all. I have no beef with anybody. The tour official, I have no beef with you. I just, I admit when I'm wrong. And, I just want you to admit when you're wrong. And because I think that you're wrong here. And a lot of people think that you're wrong here. And that's all. I know it's over with and done with, but I'm suspended now, guys. At least he told me that. So signing off from my house here is Brandon Davis. See you guys later.